Hey, hi, hello, welcome to a writing vlog. I am brainstorming right now, and I just have to say, I feel like this story is falling out of me at such a rate, and I have so many ideas with the story that it is so hard to sit down and focus. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just feel like I see the story so clearly in my mind and I see how it's going to unfold. And every time I sit down to write, I get even more ideas and it all works in like a linear fashion in my mind, but I just feel like overwhelmed with writing it all down. So that's where I'm at right now. What a weird start to this vlog, but I hope you're well. I hope you're cozy. And this is really just going to be a week of writing. I'm brainstorming right now, as you can see, and basically what I want to do is I want to write out all of the scene ideas that I have in this brain and put them up on the wall, organize them so that I have a linear story and I have zero excuses to write because it's been a while. It's been a while since I've written, mainly just because I've been at school. I've been in like my final week at school, and also I went to visit my family and took a little bit of a breather. I just needed to get that out. I just needed to speak that out loud, that I am overwhelmed with this plot because it is just falling out of me so quickly. I literally feel like I cannot write quick enough for this story, which is so silly. It's so silly, but it's an amazing place to be. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. This is so amazing and I'm so happy, but it's overwhelming. So anywho, get cozy. Let's get into it. I'm so self-conscious filming right now because my nose is really dry because I got a sunburn. It was really bad. I hate getting sunburns. I try really hard not to. I wear sunscreen, but I got a sunburn, and so now my skin is flaking and I'm trying to moisturize as much as possible. Anyway, so I'm a little self-conscious looking at the camera. I hope you can't see it. But I'm gonna go to a coffee shop and I'm gonna write a little bit, and I'm gonna take you along with me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a photo of my little planning board over there and just kind of look at what scenes I have next. There are a couple moments that I need to fix up at the beginning. I just basically need to add in a couple extra lines here and there, and then I also still need to write this big scene that happens at the very beginning that I haven't written yet, so I think I might actually try to tackle that today, or at least this weekend, so that I can have the beginning done. I will say last night I was thinking about my book and I had a really good idea and I really want to go back and I want to fix it. Not even fix it, I want to go back and I want to change it. But when I told Tom the idea, he was kind of like, what is that going to do? And I was like, hey, that is a good sign that I shouldn't go back and like completely alter the story just yet, because it doesn't actually change anything. It doesn't affect my writing going forward. And so I can just make a note of it and change it up in the next draft, which is a really big piece of advice that I have when you start overthinking your story and you get a new idea. Just ask yourself how much it actually affects the story, or if it's just a cool idea to add in. Those are great and those are fine. Eventually go back and add it in. As an example, it would be like if I was like, oh, what about if in this world the sky was red? And it doesn't actually alter the story. It's just like a cool piece of imagery that I want to insert in the story. That's great, and I can do that at any point. I don't need to go back and do that immediately. It's kind of like a way to fight your perfectionism.
What's the worst thing this morning? Couldn't last for a little while, so we can pull the shades down, put her game on, drive my toes to tickle down. Can you help me so I can try? Savor moments you're by my side, hiding under the sweet disguise, always taking you by surprise. Go inside.
So I wrote, and I'm feeling good about it. I stopped literally mid-scene. I think I managed to write almost 700 words, and then Tom texted me. He was done at the gym, so I stopped writing. And I'm actually really glad that I stopped writing because I feel like I was getting into the groove and I was starting to enjoy the process, and it will make returning tomorrow easier. But a couple things. One, I've been dealing with so much self-doubt lately when it comes to writing, and I keep like joking that comparison is definitely stealing my joy right now, and it's really frustrating. And I think that that is all part of the process. Obviously, when you want something so much and when you feel like it is your calling, but it takes forever and it's really difficult, it's hard not to let self-doubt creep up a little bit. And I was doing so good in my last vlog at embracing the slow process, and I was really enjoying it, and I still am. And when I sit down to write, there's this weird feeling of both really, really enjoying the process and hating it because I'm just not working fast enough. And then all of those doubts creep in, and it's a fun little thing that is happening in my brain right now. I've been thinking about how to work around it and how to work within all of these feelings. And one of the things that I'm going to start doing is just practicing presence in my writing and really trying to savor each day and each moment that I sit down to write. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to treat all of the negative thoughts that I have much like I would intrusive thoughts, which is just kind of let them be. Don't try to fight them. Don't try to fix them. Don't try to like combat them. Just accept that they are ever present, and there are a number of reasons why they pop up, and they're not true. And I think that that's a really important thing to realize, is that none of these negative feelings are true. They are just intrusive thoughts, much like the other intrusive thoughts that I deal with. So I've got that down. And another thing that I want to do is spend a little bit of time reflecting at the end of every writing session. So I want to literally sit down and write up to 3 things that went really well, or 3 things that I enjoyed about the process. And they can be anywhere from, oh, I really liked this one line, or I really liked the coffee that I was drinking. I think just practicing the presence of being in the moment when I sit down to write will help me through all of this kind of negative feeling and anxiety that I have, because I really am loving this and I'm having such a good time. And it's funny, I took like almost a week off, and 2 days ago was my first day writing again after a break, and it just started falling out of me again. This story is literally falling out of me at a pace that I cannot explain. And yet, of course, the writing of it is actually slow, and so I want to spend more time focusing on that feeling and the feeling of it being fun. And in summary, just as a reminder, they are: treat all of the negative thoughts as any other intrusive thought that I experience in my life, and try not to fight it, and just accept that it's there, and like, don't overthink it. And number 2 is reflection on every single session and how it went, and mainly focusing on the good parts of that session and finding the good. And I think that's going to be really fun and really interesting. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write my little mini reflection. But first and foremost, before I do that, it is a Saturday and I have spent a couple hours writing already. So now I'm going to curl up and spend the rest of the day reading, and I'm so looking forward to it. I'm currently reading Kingdom of the Wicked, and I did not unfortunately look up how to say this author's last name, so I feel really bad. This is a YA fantasy book about a young woman whose twin sister is brutally murdered, and she vows to seek revenge upon whoever killed her, and that leads her to team up with one of the princes of hell. This book is set in Sicily, and I'm enjoying it so far. I'm not that far into it. I'm only on chapter 7, and her twin sister just passed away. I didn't really feel a whole lot while I was reading that moment, but the writing is good, and since I'm reading Tolstoy, I've been craving kind of just like something to sweep me away and like something that's a little bit magical. The one thing that I will say about this book is that I really enjoy the food writing. There's like a surprising amount of descriptions of food and cooking that I love, and it's Italian cooking, and it just sounds so good. And then the other thing that I did today that I'm confessing to you is I bought another book. After I wrote, I went to the bookstore and I bought myself a present because I ended up getting straight A's this semester, and I'm so proud of myself, and I deserved a little treat. And this was an Indigo exclusive edition, and it was also on sale, and it is the Masters, it's just called Masters of Death, Olive V. Blake. She wrote the Atlas Six. She's a very, very prominent author right now, and this Indigo exclusive edition is so pretty. And I mainly just bought it because of the cover, and the description sounds really good, and someone on Goodreads basically comped or compared, that's such an industry publishing term, comped means compare. Wow, my publishing is showing. Someone compared Blake to Neil Gaiman on Goodreads, and honestly, the description of this book really sounds like Gaiman-esque, so I am looking forward to diving into it this fall. This book is about a young vampire who is also a real estate agent who really wants to sell a house, but the house is haunted, and the ghost that haunts this house refuses to leave until his murder is solved. So she teams up with the godson of death to help solve this murder, and it just sounds really fun and like a weird ride that I would be so game for. And like I said, I haven't read the Atlas Six, but if I like this book, I will be more inclined to pick up the Atlas Six. I've heard very differing reviews, so I'm very curious where I will fall on Blake's writing. But the Indigo exclusive edition is so gorgeous. It has wonderful illustrations, and it also has illustrations throughout. Let me see if I can find one. Like, hello. That's so neat. And they kind of look like tarot cards, I think. I'm really excited to put this on my TBR shelf. I also added Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. I only have the arc of this book because I actually used to work for the publisher, and I never read it when I was working there. So I added that to my fall TBR. So it's not in my roundup that just went live, but I really want to read that one too. It's kind of like a coming of age haunted tale that like evokes Stephen King. Those are my books. That's what I got. I'm very proud of myself for doing well in school, and I feel like I deserve a treat.
One night I went to sleep at the end of a long week, and I thought you seemed withdrawn. Well, the truth always comes out. Now yours has through someone else's mouth, and right now I can't move on. You're telling yourself it's to protect me, so you hid away a crucial part of me. And I can't let this go, even though you've said you're sorry, 'cause you lied to me about me. Now I sit at home, figuring things out on my own, 'cause you took this way too far. You divert the blame with your self-righteous, selfless claim, but right now I don't know who you are. You're telling yourself.
I'm up to page 158 in this, and something crazy just happened. Like, something that made my jaw drop. I was literally reading it like, and then the crazy thing was resolved like in the same page. It was crazy. I don't think I've ever read anything that is like wrapped up that quickly. But wowza, I'm almost halfway done. Also, look, a gorgeous setting sun on one side, and on the other side, storm clouds. Fascinating.
Gotta put them in your garden.
I love these little wiggly guys so much. They look like alien plants.
And I can't let this go, even though you've said you're sorry, 'cause you lied to me about me. You've convinced yourself you did the right thing. Did it cross your mind you can't decide for me? No, and I can't let this go, even though you've said you're sorry, 'cause you lied to me about everything. Oh, you lied to me about me.
You're like my favorite record, spinning in my mind, your melody. I don't regret all of this wasted time, if you're the only one that's on repeat. You're like coffee in the evening, you make it difficult to fall asleep. Behind my eyes, the pictures that you drew, couldn't resist the urge to miss you. Congrats to you for slipping into my mind, and I guess you left me restless.
Oh, why, yes, thank you. This is my new favorite shirt of all time. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate it. I just bought this thrifting and it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm in my kitchen and I totally feel like you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm making myself an iced coffee to go. I've made myself lunch, which is basically just like a little hummus wrap with a ton of like cucumber and tomato and lettuce. I never ever pack a lunch on these little writing afternoons on Sunday, and I always end up regretting it because I get really, really hungry and then I can't focus. I already saw my awesome shirt, so you don't really need to see it again, but also you kind of need to because it's an amazing shirt. Ice. Today I wrote, hold on, cracking ice. This is gonna be very loud. Today I wrote about 300 words this morning where I basically, loudest noise ever. I finished the scene that I was working on yesterday. Hold on, let me put the ice in and then I'll talk to you. I've got my shaker bottle and then I have the bottle that I'm actually gonna put the iced espresso drink in. As I was saying, I finished the one scene that I was working on yesterday and it's fine, it's all right. It's actually a scene that I've been putting off for a long time, so I'm really glad that I finished it. Is it perfect? No, it's gonna need a lot of work, but I'm just glad to have something down because you can't fix what isn't there. It's so pretty in this glass. Look at it just like settling. So today I am simply going to just do whatever I want when it comes to writing. I'm just going to pick a scene at random and write it. I mean, I tend to write in chronological order and there are some scenes that I don't have complete, so I might try to work on one of those, but we'll see. We'll see where the day takes us. I'm gonna pour it into my little shaker guy. And then I'm gonna put a little maple syrup in it. I really wish I had flavored syrup other than maple syrup. And then I'm gonna shake and hope it doesn't explode. Use my washed finger to block any ice. Perfect. And then I'm going to pour in the cream. Oh no, I made way too much. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna do the quickest kitchen clean and then I'm gonna go. I'm always late, but that's okay because our Sundays are actually really, really chill and we tend to not have like a strict schedule. Let's pack up the bag. Well, actually, let's clean the kitchen. You don't need to see that. Pack up the bag. Let's go.
Decide if you want to change location.
Would you hate me?
No.
Okay. We literally just got focused, and I'm like,
no. It works.
I feel like
This is how you feel. Is how I feel about nature all the time.
Hello there. I'm back. I got home. I'm sitting on the floor. I'm drinking water. I watered all of my plants. My plants are all watered, and now I'm watering myself. My plants are doing so well. The basil is not doing great. Not doing great. I don't know how to keep basil alive. I wish I knew. I don't understand what basil needs from me in order to survive and thrive. My string of turtles is doing wonderfully. I even propagated a little buddy for it, and it's just so beautiful. When I got this little plant, it was like one string, and it is just living its best life here, and I'm so proud of him. I'm also propagating a bunch of money plants, which is really great. I cleaned out the litter boxes, which was super glamorous, and I didn't feel like you needed to see that. And then I even put some rice on to eat with dinner because I am having the exact same thing I had last night, which is that delicious like veggie stew that I made that had like potatoes, corn, olives, carrots, celery, bell peppers, chickpeas, so many delicious things it had, and I have a ton of leftovers, which is fantastic. So I'm having that with rice tonight. Tom is super into Baldur's Gate right now. He's been playing that game nonstop. So I think I'm gonna curl up and read the rest of the night, which is gonna be amazing. Definitely having a lot of introverted evenings, and I'm loving it. 3 things that went really well today. Number 1 is I had such a good image of a character in my mind, which was so wonderful and something that I feel like I often have, but I never quite acknowledge that. So having an image of a character in my mind while I was writing felt so wonderful. Another thing was I wrote like a really good scene between my protagonist and another character, which I really enjoyed. I can't share the third one because it's actually a spoiler, but I ended up writing like two or three scenes, I think. They're pretty short, and I overall wrote like 2,000 words, which fantastic, super jazzed on that. It was an awesome writing day. It is Sunday night, but I do have the rest of the week off, so I still feel like I'm in vacation mode.